In case you've been sleeping under a rock and think that stretched out choppers are the thing for cruisers who won't get noticed, that's so 5 years ago. Now, baggers are what the cool kids are dressing up, and the Magnum was crafted to fit into that scene for folks who prefer the more turnkey approach to their motorcycles. The Magnum transformation takes a cross-country and mounts a big 21-inch billet aluminum front wheel instead of the 18-incher placed on less endowed motorcycles. Then, because it makes it easier to puff out one's chest, the back end is slammed as far as an OEM is willing to go. Folks who install an aftermarket air suspension can't drop rear until the exhaust pipes are sitting on the ground, negating the need for a side stand. Next came the 2015 Magnum 5 paint scheme. Loud is the operative word for the paint, too, with colors that sound like the members of a metal band: black crystal, super steel gray, Havasu red, and suede pearl white. Okay, maybe not the last one. Last year's Magnum X1 received an exclusive color scheme, too. The stereo's information screen is on the bottom. Despite its diminutive size and dated monochrome layout, it effectively delivers all the data the rider needs. The stereo's information screen is on the bottom. Despite its diminutive size and dated monochrome layout, it effectively delivers all the data the rider needs. For 2016, Victory has toned down the Magnum X1 while simultaneously maintaining the volume. The X1 Stealth Edition receives a stately stealth gray paint scheme with a suede texture that can be described as not quite matte and certainly not semi-gloss. The paint quality is eye-catching in its subtlety. In fact, many people who encountered the X1 Southeast at Bike Week could not resist the urge to caress it. Really? So, the X1 Southeast has this stately paint and the impressively large black billet front wheel that has its spoke shape set highlighted by machined edges that show off the aluminum beauty beneath the black top coat. Where the Magnum wears chrome, the X1 Southeast steps in with semi-gloss black. This is most noticeable in the engine compartment where some bolts, the machine cooling fins, and the engine badge are the only silver visible. Underneath the premium but almost understated styling, the Cross Country's 1731cc 106ci 50° V-twin provides potent motivation for a bike that is said to weigh 787 pounds dry, meaning any kind of fluid, fork oil, engine oil, gasoline, hydraulic fluid, etc. is left out. Since the X1 Southeast is similar in many ways to the Victory Crossroads I know tested in 2014, we know that the Freedom 106 engine is using its 77.5 HP and 88.9 pounds-feet to muscle about 850 pounds of motorcycle around. The clean looks of the rear speakers highlights the integration you get with factory sound systems. The additional bass and the presence of sound from behind the rider increases the rider's enjoyment of the music. The clean looks of the rear speakers highlights the integration you get with factory sound systems. The additional bass and the presence of sound from behind the rider increases the rider's enjoyment of the music. Lurking within this stylish hammer is a 10-speaker, 200-watt sound system that turns the Magnum into a mobile music machine. With 6 speakers in the fairing pumping out the volume in the front of the rider, the two 6x9 woofers and tweeters mounted in the leading edge of the saddlebag lids surround the rider and passenger with music. Since the stereo needs to combat the road and wind noise at speed, it needs to be loud. And it is. To test the sound system, I took the X1 out of Daytona Beach to a remote location to give the system a listen. With the stereo turned up to 11, I sat on the bank of a lake and was reminded of my adolescent summers where a remote lake or the dead end of a country road became an instant party with the music blasting out of the back of the cars. Only the technology has improved. Thanks to Bluetooth, I didn't have to walk over to the bike to change the song. I could do that with my smartphone and Pandora. Folks who never had to deal with cassette tapes just don't know how good we've got it now. The sound system's only miscue. The wires and speaker in the saddlebag lid appear to be quite vulnerable. The sound system's only miscue. The wires and speaker in the saddlebag lid appear to be quite vulnerable. Back on Main Street, the X1's sound system was more than enough to fill the cockpit with an envelope of sound that could easily be heard over the loud exhausts and other stereos taking in the Bike Week scene. When actually riding around town, the music can be heard clearly, and the ability to fine-tune the X1's speed-sensitive auto volume control is much appreciated. Out on the open road at highway speeds, any motorcycle stereo is fighting the losing battle. I like to listen to music, and by that, I mean listen to music, not merely hear it. As the road speed goes up, so does the amount of wind, road, and engine noise the stereo has to overcome for the rider to be able to hear the music. At some point in the battle with the ambient noise, the volume becomes oppressively loud and taxing while still not enabling the rider to appreciate the full fidelity of the music. For high-speed audio enjoyment on a motorcycle, any motorcycle, not just the X1, the Bluetooth communicator with helmet speakers or sound-damping earbuds provide the best method to truly enjoy music.